And I think that right now you can say Steve Yzerman is on a good streak, just on the surface. I was happy with the Gibson trade. I know you were, Justin. I'm happy certainly getting rid of Tarasenko, basically giving him to Minnesota. And for the record, that makes more sense for Minnesota than you think, because you might think to yourself, why would anyone want Vladimir Tarasenko? Because the Minnesota Wild are a playoff team. They were good, but their Achilles heel is they need more goal scoring. You stick Vladimir Tarasenko on their third or fourth line, maybe he gives some value. And you think he's going to play on their first?
Yeah, he's going to play with Boldy and Kaprizov.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what my boy was telling me. He's a Wild fan.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Okay.
Have fun with that, man.
Yeah. All right, then. Maybe you take back what I said. But the Wild need goal scorers. And the Red Wings needed to get them the F off the roster. And and also the Red Wings re-signed Patrick Kane, 1 year, $3 million, and I think that's a good deal at a good price. But more obviously needs to be done. This can't be it, because Patrick Kane should be on the Red Wings' third line, without a shadow of a doubt. Justin, how do you feel about the Tarasenko trade and the Patrick Kane re-signing?
Tarasenko trade was a masterclass. Steve Yzerman needed to get rid of him, and getting rid of him for no assets and no salary retained is 100% a win.
Yes.
The John Gibson trade, 100% a win. We talked about it yesterday. Giving up low-level assets for a high reward if Gibson's able to pan out and play even to a smidge of his prime. I think the Patrick Kane deal is good. I think it's a step in the right direction, but at the same time, you cannot be done. He has to be a third liner in this team. He cannot be playing top 6 minutes. His body just can't hold up in that way. And if you don't think so, think about how Patrick Kane would be playing after a 3-game series against the Florida Panthers, or a 7-game series against the Florida Panthers in the playoffs. He's not going to be able to make it to Game 5 and Game 6 playing top 6 minutes. His hips are going to give out on him. And I just don't want to put him in that position. I'm trying to build this team to a point where they're good enough to win a playoff series. And the only way to do that is by reinforcing the top 6 and reinforcing the top 4 defensively. And that's what he's going to have to do today starting at noon.
Yeah. No. There's still a lot of work to be done.
The bonuses do scare me.
Sure.
They were a little too easy to get, in my opinion. I don't think that playing 10 games should get you $2.5 million, Patty. No offense to you, but no. I mean, you might as well make that contract $5.5 AAV, which kind of takes away some of the value of you losing Tarasenko, because that is a pretty big overpay for Patrick Kane. I can't lie. Me personally, if I was Steve Yzerman, and I know I'm going to come off as an a-hole when I say this, but if I was Steve Yzerman, I would have told Patrick Kane, look, man, you're not what you used to be. You're a power play specialist. You're great for the locker room. But at the end of the day, if you want to uproot your family and move somewhere else for 1 year for your last year NHL career, go ahead, man, because you're not worth $5.5 million. He's just not, even with the cap going up.
No.
And I know that's going to get me crucified, but at the end of the day, he's not what he used to be. And when I saw us get Vladimir Tarasenko off the books, I thought we were going to be able to sign Patrick Kane, Albert Johansson, and Soderblom for all under $6 million. But now that is as much as you gave Patrick Kane, which I figured you'd only have to give around 3 or 4. So I know you're just splitting hair on numbers, but at the end of the day, when you're talking about adding legitimate depth to this roster, splitting hairs in these $1 million differences is what makes Florida so good and makes Florida able to re-sign Ekblad and Bennett and Marchand. So I kind of feel like there is a need to be nitpicky, because we're getting to a point of what's the point of even rebuilding until getting to 2030 when there's even a chance to winning the Cup when the Florida Panthers are done.
Well, and Justin, good on you for bringing up the bonuses, because I completely glossed over that, and that's my bad. He gets, and these are the bonuses so we can lay it out for those of you who don't know. He gets $2.5 million for playing 10 games, which I agree is, you might as well just give it to him now. $250,000 for 30 games. An additional $250,000 for 50 games, $500,000 for making the playoffs, which would be awesome, of course, $250,000 for winning the first round, and $250,000 for winning the second round. So those are potentially an additional $4 million in bonuses. Obviously, if Patrick Kane turns into a 1-year, $7 million player, that means the Red Wings would have won 2 playoff series, and we would love that. But some of those bonuses are a little bit too easy to achieve. I mean, even the additional $250,000 for 30 games is, even Patrick Kane, somebody as long in the tooth as he is, should be able to catch that. But Chase, Red Wings have been making moves. The John Gibson trade over the weekend, trading Vladimir Tarasenko for basically nothing, but not having to attach an asset or have to retain any salary, and Patrick Kane for 1 year, $3 million, which could turn into 1 year, $7 million, probably most likely 1 year, $5.5 million. How do you grade what the Red Wings have done so far?
I mean, I don't know how to grade it on like a letter scale.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. That was a poor choice, yeah.
But I mean, I think the Gibson trade is nice. I think he's obviously going to be our starter. I think you're going to only put Talbot out there between 20 and 25 games, which, as old as he is, I think is all he's good for.
He'll be very good for those 20, 25
Exactly.
games.
I think he was very good last year in small sample sizes. When we put him out there too much, that's when we saw him like start to get hurt, start to fall apart in places. So I think him as that backup is going to be a really good role. I think I'd like to see us add another defenseman, a defensive-focused defenseman, because although people talk about John Gibson's numbers being low in Anaheim the last few years, they have had awful defense in front of him, just like the Red Wings have right now. So we definitely need to do something to address. I think, like I said, I'd want a defensive defenseman over an offensive defenseman, at least right now. Let our young guys like Edvinsson, Seider, ASP, when he gets up here, let them focus on being more of those offensive guys. I want like a veteran who will help just lock down on defense and help with the PK. That big deal to take care of the PK.
No, and there's still some out there who are available.
Yeah.
And I actually have a list of not yet, JB, but Justin, what and we had talked about it yesterday, but this was before the Tarasenko news broke and the Patrick Kane re-signing.
Can I say really quick?
Please.
I like. It's cool that Patrick Kane got re-signed. I really did not want to bring him back.
I mean,
it's fair, especially that AAV chase.
I didn't want to bring him back. I didn't think the juice was worth the squeeze, and I don't care like whatever incentive-laden deal you want to offer to him. I don't think he's worth the roster spot. I don't think he's worth the money. I don't think he's worth the time on the ice. He's a liability.
Speaking to the choir, Chase. I can't lie. For the amount his contract is worth, I question whether or not we shouldn't have let him walk.
Dude, he's just
$5.5 million, because if he's going to play 10 games, let's call it as that is a $5.5 million contract. You can get a legitimate top 6 forward for $5.5 million, and that is my issue, because he is not a legitimate top 6 forward anymore. And if he really does, this contract is probably going to be $6 million probably, because he's going to hit another one of his incentives, and that's a lot of money for a 1-year Patrick Kane. When you see guys, he's signing a similar contract that Ekblad signed in Florida, that Marchand signed in Florida. Like, these guys are way more effective at their points in this career. Like, and that's where I think Steve Yzerman should have played a little more hardball with freaking Kane. Because you know what, Kane? You want to go to the Rangers? Fine. Kill the Rangers cap for us, because they have no cap, and they need cap to sign people to be better than us. So, yeah, go ahead. Have fun. Our power play doesn't need you. And that's my issue, that everyone, we need Kane. But our power play's fine. We have Raymond, DeBrincat, Seider, Larkin. Like, we've enough to still have a great power play. Patrick Kane isn't going to define whether our power play is good or not. It's definitely not going to be bad now that we have Kane. But how is the top 6 going to be at a point where they're good enough? Is the top 6 defensively going to be good enough? Like, forwards helping the D. I don't know.
Tell me how you really feel, Justin.
I am telling you how I really feel. I love Patrick Kane, and I wish he would have taken a more team-friendly deal. Honestly, it's kind of BS he didn't.
Yeah, and Patrick Kane at this stage of his career, I think he's somebody that you could deploy. And I don't know if the Red Wings have the roster yet to do that. You could put him on the 3rd or 4th line.
You don't have the roster for it yet, though.
Hey, as of right now, and that's where they need to do more. You could put him on, power play 2. You could deploy him. I think he still has some value even in 3-on-3 overtime. I know we discussed it on Woodward Wings, how on offense he's obviously had a propensity for game-winning goals, but defensively he could also lose you the game. However, at least in the regular season, and I'm not saying we should be satisfied with overtime losses, at least you have that 1 point baked in. And Patrick Kane did have a lot of game-winning goals. Obviously, you could put him on shootout too. He has value, but I get what you guys are saying. That a 10-game, $2.5 million bonus is he's gonna get $5.5 million.
She's saying I'm